But the thing is, like, women, we want this lifestyle that's not even realistic nowadays. Like, we want men that make more than we do, and we want them to pay all of the bills. But it's like, we all have our nails done. We get our hair dyed. We have makeup. We have all of this stuff that costs money because we want this lifestyle. And I've had girls come on my show, and I say, would you date an average guy for companionship, but you would have to go down in lifestyle? And they say, no, we're addicted to lifestyle.
Women soon started to complain about things like compliments, dating pressures, and even guys who looked at them. Men then started to disregard them after giving them what they wanted. They now bemoan the lack of interest. This is evidence that they lack direction.
Modern women have unrealistic expectations for men. Modern women demand men be at least 6 feet tall, make 6 figures, and be a 10 out of 10 in looks. They do this because women are born with beauty. Men have to earn everything they have. So struggle on, build that body she can't have because you're not 6 feet tall. Make yourself rich in mind and finances by refusing to pay her way just because she's pretty. You'll attract real beauty that way.
In reality, not all women aim to undermine all males. The crucial problem is that, in this gynocentric society, any woman may, if she so chooses, ruin any man's means of subsistence. All it takes is one accusation to destroy the guys. Let's not forget how the absurd Believe All Women movement was included in the Me Too movement.
I think that we all know that women can be pretty lazy during the early stages of dating, because if a man wants you, he is expected to give you all of his effort. But women just need to give the green light. He is expected to move mountains if he wants you. But the problem with that is what happens once he has you, because that sort of thing is not maintainable. And then women, are you with somebody that you actually like, or just with somebody that is willing to give you all of his attention? And that is what's not fair to men, because all of these men's hearts are being broken, and then they're not re-entering the dating world. They're doing their own thing, and then we're left with a pool of boys that we keep complaining about on TikTok.
I think the movement has openly opposed males ever since that day. They came up with this ineffective misogynistic rule of behavior. Men are shrewdly adapted to a culture that forces them to play a predetermined, rigged game. The majority of guys have just chosen the prudent course and will not use a marked deck.
What's expected essentially of a modern woman today is that you work as if you don't have children, and you raise children as if you don't have work. You cannot do either to the furthest extent of your abilities, and yet we are still lying to each other, especially as women, that we can. That's why I want to be very careful, going out here and telling you guys the honest truth rather than what a lot of people would like to hear, because I especially get this because, of course, people love to interview me for like business women stuff, and they're like, wow, how do you do it all? And like so many women are out there being like, you can do it all. I actually don't want to give that message. That's not the proper message. Right now, society is not set up for us to be able to do it all, okay? So here's the reality check that nobody wants to give each other. And this is coming from somebody who's crazy creative, meaning I created an entire community to help me raise my son. And I'm going to tell you, as a woman, you get a choice. Your choice is relative to your career. Do you want to go all the way this way or all the way with raising your child? Every woman's going to have to settle somewhere between those two roads. Some women feel safe straddling here, and that's okay for them.
I think a lot of males feel the same way about women these days because of the way they act. Their conduct has just gotten to the point where I find it difficult to carry on a discussion with them for very long before I get bored of hearing from them. However adorable they may look, it won't change how utterly irritating and immature they have grown to be. Men just steer clear of anything that can be even slightly misinterpreted and cause them to get into trouble.
How much money should a guy make for a year?
I say 100,000.
Why 100,000?
Because he has to be able to provide for me and himself along with our family.
Okay. What about you?
I'm gonna say 120,000.
Why a specific number?
I don't know, I just went higher than her.
So this means that I should go to job or do a business, grind my ass off while you are partying and sucking off big black cocks in Miami nightclubs, so that finally in your 30s, when you have a wide tunnel between your legs, I can marry you and use my money to buy you LV bags and pay you alimony.
Studies show that men would rather work with other men than with women. This only serves to demonstrate how increasingly wary males have become of women throughout time, especially in the last 10 years, and how much they would prefer to communicate and work with other guys. In cubicles, meetings, and boardrooms, they prefer to work with other males rather than women because they can share information, talk about ideas, and organize their schedules together. This is due to their fear of losing the career they have worked so hard to build over a long period of time. They may lose everything with just one unfounded accusation. In a society that primarily takes into account and believes what women say, one false charge could end up being the villain.
The
biggest ick a guy's ever given you? When, like, they're ordering food at a restaurant, it's like shut up. It's like, I don't know why, but it's so unattractive.
When he takes a nap, it irrationally annoys me.
We can just look that up on the ick indicator. That's why I made it. There are two types. There is not enough of something, and then there is being affected by something. This would be a type 2. That's too sensitive to sleepiness, having a feeling of sleepiness. And then we just find the degree. This is arranged from more understandable behavior to less acceptable. If he cannot swing a hammer, it's normal to be icked out by that, but not so much if he can't carry a refrigerator. It has to do with reasonable expectation. So if you were icked out from him wearing a raincoat or carrying an umbrella, that would be an unsalvageable ick. I would put needing a nap somewhere in between making a big deal of a cut or a bruise and enjoying music a little too much. I'd place that right about here. That would be, who do you think you are? Get some perspective, lady.
Their expectations keep piling up, don't they?
Older than me.
25 to 35?
Over 6 feet. Beefy white.
Look, everyone's allowed to have their preference, but this is probably why there's that study that says that 45% of women will be single and childless in the year 2030, because there's too many modern women that have ridiculous expectations.
Why are women hypergamous? Because of convenience. A place to dump emotional baggage, indulge in the feelings of revenge if applicable, and most likely are applicable if they feel the need to leave. If they leave because the grass is greener on the other side, they feel more desirable.
This is why you should never get a girlfriend in Miami.
How much should your man make a year?
As long as you're able to provide for me.
Give me a ballpark, just a number. The minimum amount your man should make a year.
Like 600,000.
600,000 a year?
What about you ladies? How much you got to
make
a
year?
A year? 6 figures. I'm educated. Yeah. I'm going to be making more than that. I'm going to be making triple that. Not saying that I don't want a man that's making lower than me, but I will prefer.
Do you think a man cares about your education?
Yes. My man, he does. I don't know about you, but my man does.
Do you think a man that makes $600,000 a year cares about a woman's education?
Not yours, mine. Yeah. What else is my
Not to be understated, the thrill of lustful conquest is a driving force until they decide to love someone. Many will argue this last point, but love is something you do, more so than something you feel. We often don't feel like doing what loving someone would require us to do, but that is how we know we truly love someone and why we do it.
Like at this point in my life, I'm not trying to, I don't want to say find a charity case where I have to teach a boy manners. Like, look, my little 14-year-old brother opens my door when I'm home too. Like, I expect that.
The floodgates are open. Feminism is here. We have gender equality. You can open your own door.
Yes, I can. I can physically open my own door.
It's rare these days, but there are masculine liberal men. They're just like, no, like we just have this equality. We have an egalitarian relationship. So like, I get where you're coming from, and your strategy is effective. I think like a better question to ask is like, what's your plan in the long run? Let's say you land this guy and he doesn't live up to certain expectations. Like,
he stops opening my door?
No, not because the door is small.
Yeah.
But we're talking about like, we have very, very high standards, and I know you do, and it's because your parents raised you well, right? And you know, hopefully like you can get what you're looking for in the dating market, right? But it's like, what's gonna happen? You end up in this long-term relationship where you're married and he isn't meeting an expectation or a standard.
Believe it or not, everything you do today can be considered a red flag by a woman. You treat her right, that's a red flag. You treat her like Chad, that's a red flag. You do something exactly as she wanted it, that's a red flag. You don't do what she wanted, that's a red flag as well. Chances are, your wife or your girlfriend has already discussed 24 red flags about you with her girlfriends, and she will have all of those at the back of her mind whenever she's having a conversation with you.
So a man has to be at least 6 foot tall, make 7 figures, and have 8 inches in the trouser department in order to date you. Is that even a fair or realistic proposition?
How is that fair?
It's not fair. It's not fair.
The girl is deluded.
I have to say that life must be exciting for women. Women are presumed innocent until proven guilty, whereas males are presumed guilty unless proven innocent. Today, it's more often guilty even when proven innocent and innocent even when proven guilty, which is a shame.
If you're a provider, you'll find a woman, you'll take care of her. That's how it used to be. However, now because of feminism, women saying that they're not able to find economically attractive partners, and men are not appealing partners from an economic and financial sense. So you have a globalized sexual marketplace where in the past, a woman used to have, if she lived in Idaho, her pool of partners was in her city in Idaho. Now a woman can hop on Instagram, hop on a dating app, match with people within a 100-mile radius. She can get DM'd by NFL players. She can get DM'd by this music producer, this actor, this whatever it may be. They'll fly her out to Miami. They'll fly her to Vegas. They'll fly her to LA. They'll fly her to Dubai. So women have such an insanely disproportionate amount of options, and men simply don't have that. So basically you have a much higher proportion of men who are getting zeroed out, who have no options.
Throughout their lives, men are supposed to do everything for women and literally dedicate their lives to providing for, protecting, and helping women. And you know what? Men do that with honor. They do it proudly because that's in their nature. I'm talking about high-value men, not a simp who starts crying if he gets rejected by a girl. But the question is, why is it that women expect everything from a man, especially when all they can do now is talk about equality and how men have oppressed them and controlled them? The way hypergamy operates is that it is incredibly difficult for women to resist, since it is deeply ingrained in the culture. She may, for instance, announce or be in a monogamous relationship with you. Researchers have claimed that secret infidelity, rather than monogamy, is the worldwide standard. In essence, it is how much of the West operates. But let's put that aside for the time being. Using social media to advertise a business, for example, is not what she is doing if she is on social media and publishes often and consistently. So she is marketing herself as the business, or, to be more precise, as the product. Therefore, it's a hazardous warning if you notice her posting frequently, especially if they are attractive selfies or begging for the attention of others on a regular basis. If you go online, or if you hang out with a bunch of females, you'll always hear them talk about the so-called red flags in men, but never about their own red flags. You see, in their minds, they're perfect. They can do no wrong and are always right about what they're thinking. There's no escaping the red flag conundrum. It's in their DNA. One thing that stands out in today's dating market is that women want to get the girlfriend treatment, without the girlfriend restrictions. Many women still want traditional dates, and men to engage in chivalry. However, they don't want to be exclusive or virtuous in return. I think women generally don't have a clue what they want at any given time on any day. They get influenced by social media trends, and they get completely hooked with what's happening in their social circles. If her friend says a man buying her a bouquet of flowers is a red flag, she's going to believe it. And whether she liked receiving flowers from you before doesn't matter now, because now it is a major red flag. For me, if anyone dates for years without finding someone and getting married, or at least committing themselves solely to that one person, that's the biggest red flag. If it takes you years to get it right, there's something very wrong with you. And yeah, that goes for guys and girls. It's not hard, people. To the younger generation of men, you're going to find that what women say they want, what they will not allow and put up with, and what they do in actuality seldom aligns with what they say. If you exist, you have red flags. If you're human, you have problems. It's going to be really interesting seeing all of the old folks' homes full of incels who gave up on dating because of the impossible hoops, combined with women who had impossible standards. The women who claim they go on multiple dates a day and 28 dates in a month have to be unemployed and funded by their parents. Not only that, but it takes time to swipe and message. I don't know of any working adults that have that kind of time. So why do women find red flags in everything that men do? I think one of the most important reasons behind this is the concept of hypergamy. It's all about convenience and nature. Convenience because they need a place to dump emotional baggage, indulge in the feelings of revenge if applicable, and most likely are applicable if they felt the need to leave. If they were leaving because the grass was greener, they feel more desirable if they are with someone, as opposed to lonely, sad, depressed, and with little sense of direction. Also, not to be understated, the thrill of lustful conquest is a driving force until they decide to love someone. Many will argue this last point, but love is something you do, more so than something you feel. Thanks for watching The Circle of Kings. As always, we're looking forward to your support. So please hit the like button, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to the channel to stay updated with everything all kings like yourself need to know.